has seen the presence of several renowned figures from across industries, and today we are honored to add yet another remarkable personality to that legacy. In collaboration with one of the world's most prestigious automobile brands, Jaguar, we are thrilled to host an exclusive session featuring a distinguished guest speaker representing the brand that stands for power, performance, and prestige. So, fasten your seatbelts because today's journey promises to be both insightful and empowering as we dive into real world wisdom of marketing excellence from the heart of luxury automotive world. Right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome the star of today's Great Mind session, an exceptional individual whose journey perfectly reflects the fusion of technical brilliance and visionary leadership. Our keynote speaker is currently making waves in the global automotive industry as a lead program integration engineer at Jaguar Land Rover, United Kingdom, where she plays a pivotal role in the 27MY Defender project, one of the most iconic vehicles in the Jaguar Land Rover lineup. In 2023, she contributed her expertise as a cross-domain features systems engineer at Jaguar Land Rover, displaying her versatility in deep understanding of integrated automotive systems. Her academic roots are equally remarkable. She holds a Bachelor of Engineering with honors in aerospace engineering from the prestige University of Sheffield. During her time there, she not only excelled academically but also demonstrated her innovative mindset by developing an actively stabilizing model rocket as her final year dissertation project. So, adding to her impressive portfolio, she served as the avionics team lead in Project Kestrel, showing her leadership in highly technical and collaborative engineering environment. A true embody of determination, innovation, and passion, she is here today to share her inspiring journey from university classrooms to the global stage of Jaguar Land Rover. Please join me in warmly welcoming our speaker to the stage of great minds, Ms. Kavini Nimthara.
Thank you so much. And I'm really honored to be here and to see everyone today. So yeah, over to you again. So how should we start this? Should I start sharing my screen, or are you gonna present a little bit more? All good?
All good, miss. You can continue.
All right. How is everyone today? Please feel free to ask me any questions. Don't be shy because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm here to help you all. And I hope you enjoy the session and maybe learn a thing or two along the way, hopefully. Are you excited to be here? Can I see a raise of hands on Zoom? You can unmute yourselves and talk as well if you want. Yeah. Cool. Lovely to see, and well, I wish I saw you all, but lovely to be here with you virtually in person. I'm joining from the UK today. Today is quite a hot day as well, so excuse me if I drink some water between my presenting. But yeah, we will start now, I guess. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and I will give you a little bit of time to ask questions or anything like that. So if you have questions, make sure you let yourself known and unmute yourself, and feel free to speak when I say so. So without further ado, I'm just gonna share my screen now to see if you can see what I am seeing as well. Just let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? just feel free to write it in the chat. Okay, good. Cool. Great. So, hosts, please feel free to ask questions yourself, just so that this can be a little bit more interactive as well. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about my career, how I ended up where I am, and mainly the main theme and the topic of the session, which is personal branding and networking as well. How did I end up here, you may ask? Anyone, take guesses. Come on, I want to see it right in the chat. How do you think I ended up here speaking to you today? Come on, write your responses in the chat. I want to see some things. Or you can unmute yourselves as well. Feel free to speak, please. Anyone in the chat? How okay, so my career journey of how I ended up here is the question. So I'm asking you, how do you think I ended up here? So this is your chance. Please write it down in the chat now, and I can read out some of your responses if you, or you can unmute yourselves. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but yeah, hopefully you all are still listening. Okay. Networking, brains, and interviews. I guess so, yes. How I ended up here is mainly because of all the people around me, hard work as well, being a boss girly, yeah. Submitted a paper on LinkedIn and got invited to Jaguar Land Rover. I submitted a paper to my university, yes, and I developed my LinkedIn, and yes, I did get the invite from Jaguar Land Rover, but I will talk about it a little bit later. So how I ended up here is I actually was in a very similar position to you not very long ago. I'm only 23, by the way, so you know I'm pretty much in a similar position to you, but there are some things that I did quite differently to others that allowed me to be in this position today. So without further ado, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, if I can go to the next slide, personal branding. Why this was important to me and how I let that shape and define my career now. So, what is personal branding, you may ask? Well, I would personally, to me, what it means to me is it basically is how you present yourself to others in a controlled and managed way so that you get what you want from it, if that makes sense. Comment or put in the chat what you think personal branding is, and I can read some of those responses out. And please do it now so that we can keep interacting throughout this session as well. Hosts, if you can help me a little bit out, if you can help me out with this one, that would be great as well. So I'm just going to wait for a few moments here. Please feel free to unmute yourselves as well. This is a two-way thing. It's not just me speaking today. I want to listen to what you have to say as well, so you can get you can get like a lot out of this as well. Yes. So Ranami actually said your USP. If you know what that is, great. If you don't, that's okay. I didn't know that either. A USP is basically a unique selling point. What makes you you, and what makes you special, and what makes you stand out from everyone else. Figuring this out is a massive challenge to a lot of young people because there's so many young people applying for the same jobs with the same degrees, and what you have to then sort of figure out is, okay, what do I do differently then to stand out? And most importantly, it's about how you sell yourself. You know, being in the marketing department, you know very well the importance of advertising yourself in a unique and very authentic way. I think that's what that's one aspect of building and promoting your personal brand. But actually building your personal brand takes a lot of work. For me, I had to basically narrow down what I was interested in and then make a career out of it. And then, whilst making a career out of it, do things a bit differently to how other people do it. So instead of just going through university and just getting a degree, I did my rocketry project, which eventually, like that really defined me in the industry as a young person, and more importantly, a woman in STEM as well. So yes, there are some more responses in the chats. Please make sure you read the chats as well, because this is how I'm getting some input from you as well. I will answer your questions a little bit later. But yeah, this is so part one of it is, perfecting your niche and finding out what it is. I will talk about it a bit later. I'm just going through it now. Why is finding a right niche important? If you don't find your right niche, then you could be doing someone else's job not very well as well, and you will be struggling in your field if you're not genuinely passionate about it, and if you're pretending to like something that you don't actually like. That will never work. Maybe even if it does work, you won't be happy with it. That's what's important here as well. How to choose a right niche, narrowing down your options as well, and self-evaluation. That's very, very critical when it comes to being authentic, and also assessing how you present yourself to other people. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is how I discovered my passions. So you may have heard this in my interview as well on Derina, but I actually was very, very interested in space and aerospace from a very young age. Only because I just saw so many documentaries of like space and astronauts going to space, and that always really interested me. And then I watched in 2018 there was a Falcon Heavy launch. I watched that, and that blew my mind, because up until then no one had even attempted to do something as brilliant as SpaceX had back in the day. And that was just a real marvel in engineering for me, and such a feat to have achieved. And then I followed all of the sort of Falcon Heavy launches after that, and then the Starship launches after that by SpaceX. And then I lived in Dubai, so I lived near the Dubai airport, where I could see a lot of Airbus A380s take off and land, and I was a huge plane spotter. I would have an app on my phone to spot planes with called Flight Radar 24, and I used to just do some plane spotting, and just small things like this. You can see how naturally over time someone's interest can build up in this area enough, at least enough for me to pursue a degree in it later, which is exactly what I did. Later on, I pursued a degree at the University of Sheffield in aerospace, and I did some very cool things during my time doing the degree. I focused on different things as well, by the way. So, when I was choosing a career from my interests, I really had to think about, okay, I have so many options now, because, I'm interested in space, but if I go to some other country, will that be possible? I'm a Sri Lankan citizen, so if I go to America, for example, and I want to work at NASA, that's just not directly possible, because they prefer US citizens to other people. So I had to sort of narrow down which country I was moving into, or if you're staying in your own country, see what experiences slash what opportunities are available in the thing that you're interested in. So if you're interested in marketing, or let's say you're interested in doing media, what are the biggest media channels in your company? Sorry, not in your company, in your country. What are they doing? What are the latest trends that you're seeing in this? What do they have any newsletters? Do they have any internships? Do they have any placements that you can do alongside your studies? These are all things I thought about before I went into university and picked a degree to do, because I knew the ultimate goal at the end of the day was not to just have a degree, it was to have a career. Because if you have a degree and don't start earning money, that's almost a loss on your investment. I wanted a high return of investment, a high ROI on what I had to do. So that's why I chose aerospace, because it's a very high demand sector right now, especially with all the things that's happening across the world. And that's why I wanted to pursue a career in it. And also, I was genuinely interested in it. So what did I start doing? I started networking. This is where your personal brand, when you build it, it sort of links to it as well. So the main platform I used was my LinkedIn. However, now I've done something a little bit different. I will get onto it a bit later. But yeah, at university, I joined and I did some really cool things. These are all part of my plan to make myself stand out, and also to get other people to know about me. Who is Kavini Nimthara in aerospace? That's the question I want them to have in their heads when they were speaking to me. So when I was speaking to people, so for example, I went to a conference. It was held in Dubai at the time, called the International Astronautical Congress. In that, I actually saw like leaders in the space industry come and have like a panel talk. When I say leaders, these are not like people in a company, these are government leaders who came and gave a panel discussion. And I was there, and I really worked the courage up to go and speak to those people, those officials, and even get their, like their LinkedIn or a business card from them. So it's a little bit about building confidence enough to know what you want from who you're speaking to, and also if you're speaking to someone that important, how do you add value when you're speaking to someone like that? Okay, I have talked for a while now, so this is your turn. Please unmute your mics now if you want to speak, and feel free to ask me questions now. Please include them in the chat as well, so I can answer it along the way. Let's see. What questions have we got? I'm just scrolling up and down the chat right now. Someone asked, do you believe that without degrees and paper qualifications, we could build our career and our professions? I think the simple answer is yes, but there is an answer more complex than that. So the reason why we get degrees and qualifications is basically as a tick box in this modern world. Companies see this as a reputable, stamp of quality in investing in you, if that makes sense. So if they see your CV and see that you don't have a degree, and then they see another person's CV similar to you and they have a degree, then they would choose that person over you. Why? I'm not quite sure still, but companies tend to be very traditional in like the educational requirements needed. That's why people get degrees. However, if you don't have a degree, they also really do consider the experiences you've had. If you are 16 or 17 and you enter an apprenticeship, like there are some apprenticeships available in the UK and maybe in Sri Lanka as well, you get direct work experience from that. So, compared to someone who graduated from university at 23 years old or 24 years old with just a degree, you will be a lot more attractive to the employer because you would have had, I don't know, 5 to 6 years of experience at that point. So it really depends on what you're trying to do and where you're applying. If it's something like medicine or law, they would definitely require you to have a degree there because you need certain licenses to even practice law, and you need certain licenses to practice medicine and be a doctor or a nurse, etc. So it really depends. The simple answer is yes, it kind of matters, but the other answer is there are so many more things you can do instead. So I'm not a big you have to do a degree, but degrees do definitely help, and they give you an advantage. Okay, I'm gonna answer maybe 2 more questions. How do you build up conversations with people, like officials you mentioned, for example? I actually like this question. So how I build up conversations is I don't know if you've seen this, but on TV sometimes there are people who go, or not even just on TV, maybe on YouTube you've seen. There are YouTubers who go and interview random people on streets, and these people are quite important people as well. But you can see that once they have a mic held to them, and they can see that whoever this person is, whoever this person is that is asking the question is adding value, they immediately accept, and they just do an interview on the street with this really rich person or with this really like high official person. How is this possible, do you think? Well, it comes down to like a few different things. One, it's building confidence within yourself. So whatever you want to talk about, say you meet the president, for example, okay? How do you even begin speaking to a president, right? You're just an average person. No, do not think like that. That is the first mistake people make. If you think yourself as just an average person when you're speaking to these people, you will never be able to build up the confidence required to speak to officials. So you have to think, no, I might be equally as important if I can add value to the person that I'm speaking to or asking questions with. So if you're speaking to the president, for example, and say you want to speak about amending a law, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so you're speaking to him and you want to basically be confident in whatever you have to say. And the other thing is get your facts right. If you state incorrect facts, that will immediately lower your credibility. Credibility is something that's really important to um, to have as well when you're speaking to people and building your personal brand, because you should be seen as reliable, consistent, and trustworthy. I think you can, if you have those 3 things, you can build like a solid foundation. And so part of that is then building the confidence, of course. But also just remember at the end of the day, whoever you're speaking to, they're just a human being. Within JLR, actually, I faced this problem where I had to speak to a senior manager about an issue that we were facing, and most people would be like, oh my God, no, it's a senior manager. I'm not going to speak to them. I'm just like a 23-year-old person. I'm not going to speak to the senior manager. But did those people stand out as much? No, because, those senior managers don't even know about them because they haven't even interacted. So getting yourself seen is a good thing to do. And when I went and spoke to my senior manager, I was like, look, there's a problem within your team. And I'm sure you understand as your duty and responsibility as a senior manager to help us. I kind of put I kind of did like a bit of a power play thing there and reminded him of his responsibilities. So, after that, he could see that I was a confident person. I knew what I was doing. And, I was approaching the right person as well. And of course, I received the help I needed after that. And I got what I wanted from that interaction. So, know what you're speaking, know who you're speaking to. Study that person well, first of all. Ask about their experiences. They always like it when you ask about them. So ask about them. And yeah, just add value when you speak to officials. That's what I have to say. Someone else, I'll take one more question before I move on. There's a good one in here where it's like, how do you maintain your personal brand during a crisis or negative feedback? So this is something I learned quite recently. After my Verena interview, I started I started capitalizing on that because that was something I was good at. People like to listen to me. So I created my own social media channels on my Instagram, my Voyager Gal 23 Instagram, and my Voyager Gal 23 TikTok. And also, I had a lot of views on YouTube on that other Verena video. And along with the views came a stream of negative comments. First of all, when someone comments negatively about a person that's objectively doing well, that says a lot about their character and not about my character. So I personally, this is how I dealt with it. This is how I understood it. And then, of course, if it's really negative comments, then there should be a crisis management process that you can do. And one of the things was either report those comments, take it down before anyone else sees it, or if everyone else has seen it, then you need to come up with a plan as to how you intend to respond. Do not respond in the same way as the negative comment or a crisis. If you get negative feedback, be professional about it, be accepting of it, or act like you are accepting of it, and be diplomatic. That's what I would say. Anything you do not do it impulsively, because that will have a lot of consequences and will potentially be a backlash on you. So, think about what you're going to respond with, how you're going to respond it, and how do you effectively do this. Use ChatGPT. I am telling you, it's your best friend, because we live in the world of AI, and AI can help you get through a lot more than you can even understand. So get good with that, and that will help you a lot in your life as well. Okay, I'm gonna pause on the questions now. I hope those responses have been somewhat helpful. But yeah, I'll be continuing with my segment now. Unless anyone else has questions. I'm telling you, no one unmuted themselves, so I'm challenging you to unmute yourself and ask a question. This is your time now. I'll answer one more if any one of you unmutes yourself. Come on. Anyone? Okay.
Hello.
Okay, maybe this is... Oh, yeah. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. How important is having a T-shaped knowledge kind of structure in your opinion?
A T-shaped knowledge. That's a very good question. So for those of you who don't know, a T-shaped knowledge structure to really know your stuff and get good in your industry is very important. What is a T-shaped knowledge structure, you may ask? So if you imagine a T, okay? Let me just use a prop that's near me. I'm trying to use a prop. Okay. I have a structure of the Burj Khalifa here given by my parents. I'll use that. So this is the T, right? I don't know if you can see it. So imagine this is the T. This is the generalized knowledge that you have about your industry. So if you're doing marketing, for example, right? This is basically, this pencil represents all of your knowledge that you have. The T-shaped knowledge structure, if you can see, can slide in between any of these. So the the part that makes the T represents an area in which any one or two or a combination of these knowledge bases converge, so that you can start building a niche. This is how niches are formed. In fact, you have your wide base of knowledge and you have these niches. But let's say you're a specialist, you only know one point of this T. You want to expand your knowledge into several areas of the whatever industry you've specialized in, so that you have a lot more options when it comes to careers. I'm using me as an example. If I said, okay, I'm interested in space, that's just one bit of the T. If I'm interested in space, then what are the other generalized industries that go along it? It can be everything from communications, like satellite communications, to marketing, to how launch programs are sequenced, to how program management is within space. So, like, if you're a generalist, be specific about what you want to do. If you're a specialist, have a wide knowledge base, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for unmuting and answer. I hope that answered your question as well. So I'll be moving on now. These are some of the things I did at uni. Obviously, this is my rocket, and I did a lot of activities to stand out within my industry. And of course, what were the results, you may ask, of all this hard work during my university time? These were the results. So let's have a look here. I did my Other Than a Morning interview, morning show interview around a year ago now, and that has gotten over 500,000 views on YouTube. And after that, I got a lot of calls from other media channels to come and do interviews for them as well, and was even featured in the Navalia magazine's photo shoot. I don't remember what issue it was, but there was an issue of me in it, and I never expected all of these things to happen. That's the power and the beauty of the butterfly effect. Do any of you know what the butterfly effect is? Say yes or no in the chats. No. Okay. Some of you said yes. The butterfly effect, what is it? Let's say, okay, I'm gonna take meeting my partner, for example, as one. So at university, I wanted to learn more about drones, because drones were a really sought after, high demand industry within the aerospace industry. I wanted to learn more about this, and I wanted to have some experience in building drones. So one day, I actually asked someone within my university, who can I talk to who knows more about drones? Because, okay, I could have used Google or Wikipedia or, I don't know, some drone YouTube channel to learn about drones, but I always see the power and the value in meeting people who are more experienced than me in something and getting their knowledge and insight about things. That's also a part of networking, by the way. Always, like, getting deep, knowledgeable insights from people who know more than you is so helpful and really, really important, because it gives you exposure and they get to know about you as well. So it went from, I want to know about drones, to meeting my partner, who I didn't know was my partner at the time. He was just another person to me. And then he ended up being my partner. And how did that happen? From drone to partner. That effect is a butterfly effect. All I did was I flapped. So a butterfly has wings. The butterfly flaps its wings, and there's a famous quote or study saying it caused a hurricane somewhere else around the world because a butterfly flapped its wings somewhere else in the world. what I did was by trying to learn about drones, and then somehow it ended up with me meeting my life partner. So that is a butterfly effect in just very short terms. So yeah, that's the power and beauty of doing something. You can't even imagine where it will land you if you do it right and if you do it well. See, these were the rewards of my hard work at university, but also I was really smart about it. I didn't just let it go to waste. I let people know about it. That letting people know about it got me the recognition, and I actively went out to people and I showed my projects. It's not like, you do a project at university and then some TV channel calls you to do an interview about it. No, you have to let them know that you did something. That's how it works. No one will just be like, oh, I can see someone did a rocket, let's interview this person. It didn't happen like that. I had to be the one to take initiative. Sometimes you will be lucky enough for those initiatives to land on you, but you can't count on luck. You need to make luck work on your side by doing it yourself and taking initiative first. So yeah, I hope that cleared what that was. But yeah, this interview was what got me thinking, okay, I am good at many more things than just aerospace. Because if you think about it, all of these interviews and me meeting the actual Sri Lankan JLR people and all of this required more skills than just aerospace. In fact, I didn't use any of my degree to speak about the things I spoke about on the interview and now to you as well. These were not things that were taught to me. These were things I built over the years by practicing and perfecting. I used to take part in so many speech competitions, in Toastmasters. I used to speak to people a lot. I was so chatty all the time. All of my friends would just tell me to stop talking. But if I had an idea, I just wouldn't be afraid to put it out there because I knew what that could potentially get me. Think about risk and reward. If you think like an entrepreneur, right? If you take a risk, there is a high chance that it will go wrong. But also, there is a high chance that it will go right and it will actually reward you. I took those risks. I went and spoke to my senior managers, my senior colleagues. I went and spoke to the senior officials of that space panel. And I spoke to a lot of senior people and I spoke to a lot of high important people. And look where that got me. This is proof. I am proof that stuff like that works. So don't be afraid to do it. Think about it. How many people actually do it? Not many people. So you have a very good chance of getting yourself noticed and getting those same opportunities to come to you as well. I promise you, if you actually put yourself out there and if you be confident about it and if you know what you're doing, if you have a plan and you're willing to take the time to add genuine value to people, it will reward you, definitely. I can tell you that today. So yeah, after all this, I realized I'm not just good at building rockets, I'm really good at speaking to people like I am now. I'm really good at inspiring people because that's my trait. That's my personality, and I enjoy doing it. So I thought about capitalizing it. How can I use what I am good at and how can I use it in a way which will, one, help people positively, and two, how can it help further improve the skills I have? So what do you think I did after that? I was very active on social media after that because I gained a good following from that as well. Because I put myself out there on a national platform, and people really liked to hear what I had to say. And that got me into the world of social media, personal branding, public relations, and so much more. if I hadn't done that interview and if I hadn't been brave enough to, accept that opportunity, I wouldn't have had any of this. I wouldn't be talking to you now. So yeah, that really got me into building my own brand, and building my own thing pretty much. Because that's ultimately, personally, that's what gives me satisfaction at the end of the day. What makes me happy is not knowing that I work at JLR. I am happy because I know that I can pursue my own thing and my own passions. My objective at the end of the day is to not work with some prestigious employer. They have so many people who are talented in engineering. I'm really talented in, all of this stuff, all of the marketing and this public speaking, the motivational speaking. And so I knew the opportunities that I could build for myself instead of just working a 9-to-5 job. Because let's be honest, in the modern world today, as a young person, it's so hard to even get those jobs. And even if you get those jobs, there's nothing guaranteed that in a few years' time that will benefit you in the long term. You will receive a salary, yes, but is that all you want? Does that truly satisfy you? If your answer to that is no, then you're in the right space and you're doing the right thing by attending this session today. So well done to you all on that. So yeah, I have spoken for a while now, I realized. Before, I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen now. Before I start sharing it again, this is your time to ask me questions on things I've said so far. And remember, practice what I've said now by unmuting yourselves and actually speaking. Come on, I want to hear some of your voices. And not the same people, please.
Hey,
Host? Yeah.
so what's
Hi.
your end goal with social media marketing? Like, why do you market yourself? I'm feeling you might have an end goal with it. What
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. And who am I speaking to? Can I just know your name?
I'm
Sorry.
Vinod. I actually I'm doing a startup right now with 3D
Oh, nice.
animation and motion graphics and stuff. Where we worked with few brands in Sri Lanka and abroad as well. And I went through your LinkedIn, Instagram before the meet. And yeah, I saw the stuff you posted. I'm just interested on what's your end goal in it.
That I'm so glad you asked that, because that's what I was just about to go through next. Just wait 1 second. I might share it a bit later, but anyway, when I started social media, I knew that I wanted that platform to be able to continue inspiring the people I once did when I did that interview. And for me, social media is such an open book for me because, there's so many things you could do with a following. There's just so many things. You could build a business. You could, launch your own merchandise, for example, or, there's so many things successful social media influencers and content creators do. I wanted to use my platform as a young person, a Sri Lankan living in the UK, to display really honestly and authentically about all of the struggles I'm going through while living in the UK. And, just an authentic, honest platform to hopefully tell other especially young girls, to be able to tell them to not be afraid of chasing their dreams and their passions like me, because if I want to basically show them if I can do it, they can as well, provided they take those opportunities. So for me, the end goal yet is not clearly defined because I just started it. So I just started doing it seriously at the beginning of this year, when 2025 was approaching. I got a bit nervous, and I was like, oh god, like it's a different year, and I have to do something with this year because New Year's resolutions, everyone is making New Year's resolutions. So I was thinking about, okay, what can I do with the audience I gained from that interview? So for me, social media was a natural next step. And social media can just open your opportunities up so much. You can start collaborating with brands who are who align with your brand as well. You can start, producing like series type content to keep people to retain the followers that you have. And then you can, obviously, like, you can start your own thing. I would love to be able to do this full time, social, but until I can see that it is providing me a stable income as well, that's obviously going to be difficult. I'm sure, as as you asked your question, as a startup entrepreneur, you have like similar thoughts, because it's hard to get a consistent income at first, because at first everything is about building. And you may ask, how do you decide then when you've stopped building? It doesn't. You don't stop building. You will always grow. Therefore, you will always have to cater and build your brand and your company or whatever you're doing based on how much you're growing and where you're growing into. Because look at me, for example, I transitioned from aerospace to now doing a more commercial role for myself. So when I'm doing social media, I do the video filming, the editing, the analytics, the marketing, the campaign management, all by myself. I am my own script writer, director, actor, everything. So that naturally gives me lots of opportunities, because I'm learning so many skills within this industry. Like, I haven't done a professional degree in marketing. I've done it in aerospace, but now I'm sat here talking to you in a marketing one, because I was so good at learning things quickly and I'm passionate about it. So from January, I started producing content pretty consistently, and that got me a lot of people following me for my content. My best performing content is when I speak to the audience through a voiceover, for example, and I talk about my struggles and what it's like living in the UK. I'm just gonna send you all a link. You will receive it now in the chat. This is my Instagram. Yeah, this is my Instagram link. I've sent it. It's in the chat. And this is my TikTok. The two channels vastly differ for me, because building and creating content on TikTok is so much more different to building and creating content on Instagram. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh, that is not a link. I'm just trying to send you the link so that you can see what I'm talking about directly. Feel free to see the link as well. Okay, so I've started creating all this content, and right now my goal is to try building like the audience I want and understand what my audience needs. If I have an end goal with something, I want to make sure that my end goal aligns with what my audience needs. Say my audience doesn't like the fact that I live in the UK and I don't live in Sri Lanka and I don't face the same struggles, for example. But that's just not true. Just because I live in another country, it doesn't mean that I'm not a young person also going through struggles. Because if you're ever planning to move to a different country, because the audience also needs to understand what my niche is, and I need to be good enough when producing my content to produce it in a way that the audience directly understands exactly what I'm talking about and exactly what my brand is and what my content niche is. Right now, for me, it's a combination of lifestyle, beauty, STEM, and also struggles in the UK. That's the thing I'm doing right now. So thank you so much for asking me that question. And that showed to me that you're actually beginning to practice some of the things I've said to you. So well done to you for asking that question. And I would encourage others to do the same.
Yeah, no worries. And
so
yeah, like if you're planning to do social media marketing onwards, yeah, let's connect. I'll see what I can do to help you out on that. Yeah, I'll drop my LinkedIn and stuff.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
have a
I
question.
will definitely keep in touch with you. So the other thing I was trying to display a second ago, which I'm having trouble with because it's not directly in the slide pack that I prepared. To be honest, I was working earlier today because it's still a Friday for me, and I just got off work at around 2, so I had about 30 minutes to do this. I'm just being honest here. So yeah, I am gonna share another thing with you. It's an interesting one, but I think you would have already expected this from me if you knew about it. So I'm just gonna share my screen again. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Hello?
we can.
Okay, thank you. So this is what I'm planning to do, at least for now. I am going to host a webinar series similar to this, where I will be talking about different topics. It won't be a weekly thing. It will depend on your availabilities as well. And it will depend on what you want me to talk about, but that's what I have put in a form for. So let me see if I can copy and paste this image in the chat. If not, it doesn't let me paste the image directly, but I have attached it now. And I've attached a link to the form as well. So yeah, the focus right now for me is to do the social media as a way to develop in my career as well. Earlier, I did talk about LinkedIn a lot, but I think LinkedIn was really good at targeted connections and targeted networking. Because one thing that you can't really do on LinkedIn is if you don't really know who specifically to speak to, it can be a little bit difficult to get in touch with people because it's such a big job network, social network for jobs and careers. So now it's about building, just branching out my social media and building specific connections within the branches in the T-shaped I showed before. So yeah, that's my flyer that I've now attached as well. So I'll stop sharing. And I will be doing a webinar series, but for me to do that, I need your support. So I need you to basically just sign up in the form if you are interested in this, and let me know what sort of things that you want me to talk about as well, because this is like heavily dependent on what you want me to talk about. Because if I just start doing some random series, it just wouldn't make sense and it wouldn't align with my brand. It's all about targeting what you want to know and targeting what you can get out of me, basically. Oh, thank you for sharing her LinkedIn, sharing my LinkedIn as well. But yeah, please, I do a lot of more honest talks about struggles in the UK. So recently, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram and on my TikTok, I made a series about moving houses in the UK. I don't know if you know this, but moving houses in the UK is a nightmare. especially as a young person. My parents weren't here to help, by the way. I had to do this all by myself. So, you know, everything while doing a 9 to 5 job and having a whole house to pack by yourself. I'm a small person. Like, I can't even lift a heavy box. So, you know, like you can imagine the struggle I had to go through to be able to move houses, and everything from signing a house to submitting all my documents within the UK. It's such a complicated and a painful process. But I honestly talk about it in my Instagram and my TikTok series. So make sure you give that a watch, because I talk about my struggles there a lot, and I want to be authentic, and that's what my brand is all about. It's for young Sri Lankans like me to look up to someone who's been there, done that, and hopefully they can suffer the same things I suffer with. And yeah, that's why I wanted you all to come here and listen to me as well. I just want to be honest and authentic in whatever I'm doing and I'm talking about, because those are my core values, and that's a part of my brand. Whatever I'm doing, I do it passionately and I do it honestly, and because of that, it rewards me. The universe rewards me. And so, yeah, feel free to distribute this flyer within your social media, and also follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. For obviously, I speak on there a lot if you see my videos, and I genuinely want to hear what you want me to do content on as well. Please feel free to share the links as well, my TikTok and my Instagram link as well, as I have shared it on the chat. That's that, and I'm just going to continue with my presentation in a brief moment. I just want to hear a little bit from you now, actually. So, who here is thinking about changing their current industries? Because I've gotten a lot of questions about that on the chat. Let's see a raise of hands, shall we? Okay, just a few people. So many of you intend to just stay within the industry. Okay. Never mind. I will answer the question here, which I can see. Could you give a short brief about the piloting industry? Oh, I thought you meant pivoting industry. I can't give you a brief about the piloting industry, unfortunately, because I didn't do any pilot qualifications. But within my aerospace degree, if that's what you mean, by the way, I'm not sure what you mean. But in my aerospace degree, they had an option so you could get a private pilot's license, if that's what you're asking. And many pilots took that option along with aerospace, so they had a backup, and they went on to further piloting schools and pilot-specific placements so that they could advance in their piloting careers. I read it as pivoting careers, which is basically if you're asking about changing careers like me. That's the thing. I took a risk, right? I don't have a degree in marketing, but I pursued it anyway. Why? Because I knew I was good at it and I believed in myself. And because I did that, I did it consistently, and I made my social media, my Instagram and my TikTok, and I built a genuine connection with my audience there. That helped me really understand what content I should do, and I got better and better at it. And I intend to keep doing that. So I will be doing this webinar series as well. So make sure you use the link to sign up and follow me on my social media to stay updated. So there is one hand up by Ronami. If you want to unmute yourself.
I just raised my hand when you asked the question earlier about changing the industry that you're in currently. And yeah, I just want to say that you're genuinely one of my biggest inspirations. And I've because of you, because of the inspiration that I've gotten from you, I've also begun this series on my social media, if that's like fine to say here. Yeah, I really want to become a singer, and throughout the past few years, I faced a lot of struggles. Not just with my singing, but I felt like I felt into like a pit that I felt like I was never improving. And throughout these past few years, I've like developed myself and I've improved, and I've learned a lot of things about myself, and I learned a lot of things about singing. So that's why I started my series. I just wanted to say that yeah, I'm hoping to bring a change to the music industry by being honest about what the struggles actually go on when you're practicing. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you for sharing that really honest insight, and I'm glad to hear that I've been inspiring you to do your own series on your Instagram as well. So well done to you on that. And I do personally know you. I don't know if the audience knows, but I do know this person, and this person has been really enthusiastic and brilliant in all of her pursuing all of her passions. So yeah, that's what I can say. So yeah, I'll be resuming back to my webinar thing that I'm trying to do now. So if you want more details on that, I'm happy to have a chat after this session officially ends. But yeah, please do note that if you want a more personalized session, so I'm basically in the industry of life coaching as well. I am really good at, redirecting people into their passions, and if they're, feel lost and don't know what to do, I offer a paid service, which is personalized to them. So I make personalized growth plans for them to be able to achieve their goals as well, because that's how I achieve my goals. I made a growth plan. I made this all happen. And I have a lot of experience in doing that. So make sure you sign up, and please let me know what your budget for this is as well, so I can price these one-to-one sessions effectively. There is, yes, so Bamindu, I think I've talked enough today, and I've had a lot of fun doing it as well. I hope you've not fallen asleep by listening to me speak, hopefully not. I will answer more questions if time allows for it. But yes, this will be all for today. So I really enjoyed it. Please follow me on my socials and sign up for your interest for the webinar series. And let me know how it goes with all of you. I would love to keep in touch. And over to you, Bamindu.
So thank you so much for that insightful session, Miss Kavini. And it was truly inspiring to hear such first-hand industry knowledge and the journey behind the brand we all admire. So now, Miss Kavini, let's give them another chance to directly connect with you to clarify their curiosities, thoughts, or even challenges related to the world of marketing, branding, or the luxury automobile sector. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or drop them in the chat as you're joining us virtually.
So I do see some more questions here. Thank you so much. Says, how do you manage your time effectively? And there's another question with, my passion is in the field of marketing and branding while doing the degree I do, and self-studies on marketing with the help of YouTube. But when I meet friends, I feel like I'm still processing it. And why are you not successful in it? Also, friends are saying AI can replace your field one day. Oh dear. So AI is like, AI is a funny thing. At the end of the day, AI should be used as a tool because it can genuinely add value because of the automation and because of how, deep of a knowledge it has about so many things. Therefore, it should be used as a tool. But say your job gets replaced by AI. For me, as an engineer, that's a trouble for me as well. Like, even if you think about it, of the capabilities AI has right now, it could totally replace me. But why am I still there? Why am I hired? Because you're human, right? There's only so much AI can do and connect with. For genuine human connections, you need other humans. I strongly believe in that because you can understand nuances, which means you can distinct between good and bad more effectively than AI can. You can distinguish between very, very small differences, but AI can't. You know, like for me, if I am passionate about something, if I'm really good at my career, and if I'm a, top performing person in my career, then AI is just a tool for me and not a worry for, like me being replaced or something like that. And you did mention there, you said, sometimes you learn all of this marketing, networking stuff, but when you actually come to apply your degree or apply the knowledge that you have built, why doesn't it happen? I will take a personal example. So I can't swim. I am a terrible swimmer. If you put me in a swimming pool, I'll not drown, but I'll most likely not know how to swim. I read about it before I jumped into a pool once. I read a lot about swimming. I read how to practice my arm movements, how to have my center of mass balanced. But did that ultimately help me? No. It's when I pushed myself into the deep end and started and struggled. That's when my legs started flapping, my arms started going, and that's when I started swimming. So for me, what works for me then is exposure therapy. Just go and put yourself out there and just expose yourself, because if you don't do that, you will not be able to practice what you have learned. So the young man earlier today who offered to network with me, and also the young entrepreneur who asked me the question, he had his own business now as well. He actually understood the importance of putting himself out there. That's why he asked me the question in front of a huge audience. And so, it always comes with practice, and unfortunately, you just have to do it. You just have to put yourself out there, and I promise you, it will get better as you get more exposure to it. And I'll answer a last question as well, because I understand it's quite late for people in Sri Lanka and it's a Friday, so go enjoy your weekends. But how do you manage time effectively? I don't. That's the thing. So I used to do something called, it was called a planning fallacy, where I just kept planning and planning and planning my day. I was just so stuck in planning phase that I didn't actually end up doing it. Like I would just plan, okay, 9 a.m. I'm going to do this thing, 10 a.m. I'm going to do this, 11 a.m. I'm going to do this. It just didn't work that way, because I realized my life was dynamic. If I'm really passionate about something, I just do it. I do have a plan for how I do it, but being really specific with the timings is not something I follow, because it doesn't work for me. Some days I feel too tired to stick to my plan, so I don't stick to it. So my time doesn't get managed effectively there. However, what I do is I make sure whatever time I spend putting into that thing, overall, it's an upwards trend of me achieving things. So no matter what the time is, I care more about the output of it. That's how I do things effectively. Maybe I'm not the best person to ask about managing time effectively. I can plan, obviously. I do plan a lot, but as a human, I'm like, I would be lying if I said I follow it to the dot. I don't. For me, it depends on the kind of time of my life I'm in. If I'm under stress, sometimes under stress I do better, sometimes worse. It really depends for me. But I allow myself to be human, and I make sure I'm on an upward trajectory in whatever I'm doing. That's how I manage my time effectively. So yeah, I think that's let's keep a stop on it there. But obviously, if you want to learn more and really see what I'm actually doing in my day-to-day, my social media, my Instagram and my TikTok are the best place to go, I promise you.
So thank you once again to our guest speaker for engaging so generously with our lovely audience. At this point, I would like to warmly invite Mr. Bavindu Pereira, the Director of Executive Series of Future Marketers Association and a driving force behind this impactful initiative, to share his few words with us. Mr. Bavindu, the stage is yours.
So yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly an honor to deliver. It is truly an honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Marketing, University of California. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our guest speaker, Ms. Kavini Nimthara. Thank you for taking your time to deliver your incredible insights, journey, and experiences with us. So then next, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Subit Patapadige, head of the department, for his unwavering support for this session. And heartfelt thanks goes to Mr. Nipun Heva Patirna, the Senior Treasurer of Future Marketers Association, and our esteemed lecturers. Thank you for being here today. To the FMA team, thank you for the tireless effort behind the scenes. And without your dedication, planning, and coordination, without none of this would have been possible. So finally, to all the participants, thank you for showing up your engaging enthusiasm during the session. And I would like and making this session in a remarkable one. So once again, thank you, Ms. Kavini. Then let's carry forward the lessons we have gained today for our own lives and careers. So thank you once again, Ms. Kavini Nimthara. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead.
You too. Thank you for inviting me. It's been an honor, and thank you for all of your questions. As I mentioned in the chat, I will try to answer those questions on my Instagram and my TikTok as a Q&A session. And please sign up your interest in my webinar series if you're interested to learn more about how I am so successful in doing this. And if you want more personalized one-to-one sessions, you can show your interest on the link I've sent you, where we can have paid sessions, so I can make a personalized growth plan for you. Thank you so much again,
finally,
everyone.
Yeah.
It's been an honor.
Finally, I would like to invite to Harini to give his speech. Harini.
Has many more exciting sessions coming your way, so stay inspired and keep pushing forward, because as future marketers, you are here to make a huge difference. So thank you very much. Until we meet again at the next chapter of Great Minds session, I'm Hirme De Silva, your official host for the day.
Thank you.